So we came up with this idea of coming up to government people and tell us the plans they're having for the youth. So we thought about you as someone that has been dealing with the youth for quite long. Yeah, so here we are. So start with...
Thank you.
So start with, who is Mr. Mondo and how has been your career journey?
That's an interesting one. It's a question I've always shied away from answering, but I think now I need to pour a flood of light on who Chateka Mondo is. We are a few Mondos in this country. There is Professor Kagonyera Mondo. And you know, oftentimes when I say I'm Mondo, they say, are you a son to Professor Kagonyera? And I say, no, if I were a son, I would have been as brown as him. Then somebody says, so who are you? I was born about 53 years ago in a place called Mutai in Jinja. My father was a Gombora chief. And you know, of recent, when you talk about Mutai, people talk about Chemutai. And I've been telling people, yes, Chemutai was born in Mutai, which is wrong. I was trying to make them celebrate with me the gold that we got. And I'm happy that yesterday we got another gold, which makes Uganda happy. And talking about career, I'll be later talking about what I believe is the potential of the sports industry, of the music, dance and drama as a person, but also something that I'm still trying to influence government to buy into. So I've had my journey through Soga College Mwiri, through Makerere College School, through Makerere University, where I did a degree in English and literature and political science. I later on did an MBA from one of the prominent institutions in the country. I'm still pursuing it, and I'm about to complete it. And so I started my journey in public service as a youth leader. I was elected in 1994 as chairman district youth council of where I was born, and that's Jinja district, the source of the River Nile. And to me, that's one of the most beautiful places that I know of. Talk about tourism in this country, it must be Jinja. Bring somebody to visit Uganda without reaching the source of the Nile, you would have done that person a very big injustice. We are going to impress it upon the council of Jinja City to think about a name. Jinja will remain there as Jinja, but I'm thinking about the Jinja source of the Nile City. Something like that.
Oh, so you want the Nile to be
Jinja source of the Nile City. Yeah? So that somebody knows that when you're talking about Jinja, we're not just talking about Jinja plainly, you are talking about something. And so I start my career in there. Now, while serving as chairman Nash District Youth Council of Jinja, an opportunity appeared within the papers, and it was recruiting people into public service. I went for the interviews for public service. By the way, something that some people don't know, when I did my interviews, the interviews were in 3. I sat for different papers. One was no, don't laugh at me. One was being a youth officer. The other was joining the police as a police cadet. The third one that was available was foreign service. And among the 3, I had wanted to be in foreign service. But well, I was shortlisted for the 2, youth and
Police.
and police. And the day my father died, that's in 1994, to be precise, in August, a colleague of mine, ASP Mwanga Charles, called me. He said, I'm at the Public Service Commission. We have both been considered for recruitment into the public service. You have been considered to work with the Ministry of Culture. It was used to be called culture, gender, and a number of other semantics. And I've been taken on as a police officer. You understand?
The two of them.
The two of them. Yeah. For him, he had gone to police.
Was police already?
Had been taken to public service, but to work as a youth officer. It was a mixture of tears, but also happiness. My father had just died, so I was on my way to bury my father. And here I am, I'm getting my first job as a public servant. And since then, I've never looked back. I've grown through the ranks. Youth officer, that's the entry point. I jumped senior, I became principal, then I became assistant commissioner, and that's where I am, as assistant commissioner in charge of youth affairs in this country. Along the way, I have gone through a number of courses, both here in Uganda, but also outside Uganda, to understand what does it mean to work with young people.
Yes.
And one of the things that it requires is understanding young people, but also having a passion for the young people. And the passion comes with a number of things. Understanding where you are coming from, that you have been a young person, first of all. How were you thinking then? And how do you expect the young people to be thinking now? And how do you, if in terms of working with them, how do you put 2 + 2 together to be able to work with Emmanuel, to be able to work with Isaac, and to understand their understanding and why they think the way they do. So it involves some sort of psychology.
Yeah.
Psychology. Why is he asking this, and what does he or she expect me to answer? And so I grew up in a big family, having talked to you that my father was a Gombora chief.
Yes.
And I'm talking about chiefs of those days, not of now. The chiefs when chiefs were chiefs.
Yeah.
And when the chief walked through a village, the village would shake. If you didn't have enough food in the home, if you didn't have kabuyonjo, if you didn't have this and the other, it was trouble for you. And they had all the powers ingrained in them. He would arrest you, either pardon you, or imprison you. That was the power of my father. And so I grew up seeing a lot of dynamics, a lot of things going on. And so one thing I would say that I have missed is sitting with my father when I have some money to have some discussions on my own terms. Because the guy decided to die after my graduation. We graduated in January. He died in August the same year.
So you didn't get the chance to enjoy your fruits.
He didn't get the chance to enjoy his had the income in terms of school fees. And on that day we graduated too. Myself and my sister, we know I call ourselves twin sisters, because we graduated the same day. She went to Wanyange, I went to Mwiri. Again, these are sister schools.
Yes, yes.
Her sister and brother schools. And so our dad did everything possible to ensure that he invests in the education of the children. And so for that, I'm happy.